So we're on our way to Elfin Lakes, and we hiked 5 kilometers to get to this shelter, and we have 5.5 to the lakes.
Yeah. And we have a little bit of an incline left, and then it's fairly flat from there. So
yeah, we're gonna walk like along a ridge and get beautiful views. And this is the first hike of the season that we haven't done before, I think. But it's fun to like explore new areas that you haven't been. The logging road to get here was
it was
challenging with the Evo.
We had a fairly small car.
Yeah.
But the road itself was like, it could have been a lot worse conditions.
Yes, it could. Like, you didn't need the 4-wheel drive or anything, but it was like the worst one that we've been on so far.
Yeah.
And it was pretty long too.
Yeah, 10 kilometers.
Yeah, as long as our hike.
But yeah, we've applied sunscreen because the sun has started to come out a little bit more.
We're not shaded by the trees anymore.
No. And we're still in a heat wave, so it's going to be like 25 to 30 degrees down in Squamish. We're going to be around 1,600 meters of elevation, so 20 to 25, I guess.
And there's an alpine lake which we can cool off in, so...
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
And we brought a game that we're going to play tonight.
Yeah.
It's like, you can only play it once, and I had to download an app and everything. I hope that everything was downloaded so we can use it offline. Otherwise, I carried it up for no reason. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's such an amazing hike. Once you hit the ridge, you're just surrounded by mountains.
We've never been on this open of a hike before. Like, it's always like in the woods, and it's pretty dense. And you get like a few viewpoints, but here it's just like you have views everywhere.
Turns out that was the ranger station. We still have a few hundred meters until the shelter. Soon we're gonna have our lunch. We bought some breakfast burritos, and oh man, I'm looking forward to it. And here's the best part. We brought flip-flops.
Yes.
We don't have to walk around in these boots for much longer. It's so incredibly beautiful here. Like, I didn't have any expectations, and like, the lakes are pretty, but just being surrounded by mountains like this, it's so incredibly beautiful. And I'm not sure, I don't think the camera is making the views justice.
The scale is very hard to capture.
Yeah.
But we feel very, very tiny with mountains on all sides.
Incredibly peaceful. And the weather does a lot, right? Because it's sunshine, it's not very windy, it's warm, and it's just beautiful.
I mean, we rebooked this trip. We had it booked for last weekend of May, and all trails reviews were still saying that there's like 2 meters of snow left on the trail, so we rebooked it for this weekend, middle of July. It was a good decision.
But it's funny because you can see on like the huts and whatnot, the signs are like halfway up on the buildings, just so you can see them when it's snowy outside.
Yeah, and
'Cause-
there's a second door
Yeah.
on the second story of the shelter that we're sleeping in.
Yeah, so you can get in even if it's like 2 meters of snow. Still a little bit chill in the wind. Still there. One of the lakes, the one closest here, you're allowed to take a swim in, take a dip in. Whereas the other lake is just for drinking water. So trying to keep the contamination to a minimum for the drinking water. Because since this is on top of a ridge, there isn't a glacier further up that is melting water and bringing water down to the cabin or the camping ground. Instead, you have to make do with the water that's already here.
You have to filter it, of course, or boil.
Yes. And they do have cooking stoves in there, so you can boil the water if you have to.
I'm always so impressed with the Garibaldi campgrounds because they have so many things. Like they have a lot of outhouses, appreciated, and then the shelter, the cooking shelter, they have sinks, they have pots and pans, they had extra utensils, and then just tables to sit at. It's great.
We managed to snag a spot in a hut. We'll see if we regret that or not, because it was fairly warm there already. But just the camping ground where the tents are, it's such an incredible view where all the tents are.
I'm kind of sad that we didn't bring the tent now. But it was kind of nice to not have to set it up. It was very quick just to grab your bunk bed.
Just look at this, we're surrounded by mountains. Anywhere you look.
corresponding pages in the book and your riddle cards. Work together to figure out how to solve the riddle and find the proper 3-digit code.
Walking down a mountain. You want to add something?
No.